to be honest, this is a result that I absolutely didn't expect when I started my first experiment with avocado dyeing. Can you see this? That's unbelievable. That's absolutely magical. Hi, I'm Susanne from Susie's Journal Adventure. And welcome to my new adventures with avocado dyeing. So for my art and junk journals, I love using papers that aren't white anymore and that are already dyed or embellished. And yeah, I always love to have a good amount of ready-to-go papers in my stash. In these boxes here, I have papers that are already dyed or embellished, and I can easily go there, grab some papers and make a new journal. So it was time to dye some papers, and since I've never done avocado dyeing before, I thought, why not try this? I love the pinkish colors that I always see when people dye with avocado, and I was so excited to try it myself. And to be honest, I got some amazing results. Can you see this? This is just amazing. So if you want to see how I dyed these papers, and if you want to have an exact tutorial about what you have to do, what supplies you need, and what results you can get, then watch this video, enjoy it, and have fun dyeing your own papers. So for approximately 1 liter dye solution, you need 1 avocado. And to prepare the avocado, I just cut it into 2 halves. I take out the pit. We will need this later on for the solution. Then I take out the flesh of the avocado. I will use this later today in my salad. And it is really important to take out all the flesh that is in here, in the skin of the avocado. And that's also important because, of course, I don't want to waste anything. And now it is important to wash the skin as well as the pit here, because when you touch the avocado, there is, of course, a lot of fat, and we don't want to have this in our dye solution later on. So I will take this and wash off all the rests in here and from the pit. So I washed them, and for getting rid of all the rests that may be in here, I just use a paper towel, go in the peel of the avocado and rub off all the rests. Okay, and then you can test if it's okay. Just go in here with your fingers when it is dry. And if you have the feeling there is still a coat of fat in here, then please remove this, because as I've already said, we don't want to have the fat in our solution later on. Okay, I just realized that I forgot to press the record button. So I just cut the skin into pieces, as well as the pit of the avocado. As you can see here, I just cut it into pieces. Please be careful when you do this, because the pit, of course, is really hard to cut. So yeah, take care of yourself and don't hurt yourself. So we put everything in a pot. Ooh, I just baked some brioche here. These are super yummy. Ooh, I love this. I will enjoy this later on. So before boiling this, we of course need water. And for 1 avocado, I need 1 liter of water. And all you have to do now is let this boil for approximately half an hour. Okay, after boiling it for approximately 30 minutes, I let the broth sit for, I guess, another hour or so. And you can see it has a red, brown, orangey looking color now. So I guess at this stage you would not expect to get the colors that you will get when you dye the fabric or the paper with this broth. And in the next step, I'm going to strive this through a sieve to get rid of the solid pieces. So these pieces now can go into the compost bin, and you can see all the pieces really have no color in them anymore. And this is the solution that you have now. It looks like some tea or so. I can now pour this into containers, and I have this spray bottle. There was some kind of a cleaning liquid in here. And I still have a little bit left. I can pour some into this glass bottle. there was some kind of a, I don't know, facial cleaning liquid or oil in it. And the good thing is this glass bottle comes with this dropper here. So I can later on, oh, this is way too much in here. So I can later on apply the avocado solution in a really controlled way onto my paper, for example, as a second layer to add some more interest. I will show you that later on when we are dyeing the paper. And the rest I will keep in this jar. I can do some splattering, or I don't know what to do with it yet. I will figure this out later on. So I guess we're ready to go to dye the paper. So let's go. So back in my studio, I use these old bed sheets underneath the paper that I will dye in a second. And as you can see, I use this bed sheet very, very often, and there is rust and coffee dye on it. And as I've never dyed with avocado before, I want to have the clean result. And therefore I'm using a new sheet, because I believe if I would dye the paper on this sheet, the rust and the coffee would react together with the avocado solution, and then the color will change, I guess. And that's not what I want for my first try of avocado dyeing. So I will use this new sheet here. And for the paper, I want to use these 4 envelopes from Junk Mail. Then I want to use normal copy paper 80 GSM. I want to try the dyeing on premium copy paper, also 80 GSM. I also have this copy paper that is cardstock-like, and it has 160 GSM. And I want to dye some matte photo paper, 130 GSM. And in the end, I have these book pages. This is a really thick kind of paper. And yeah, I want to try this as well. So I laid down all the paper on my bed sheet, and I also marked it with these labels that I have laying here, so that I then, after the dyeing process, know which way paper was which paper. And now I'm just spritzing some of the solution of the broth that I have here onto the paper. Oh, and can you see this? This is immediately pink. The camera can't catch the color, but this is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this color is red, brown, and here you immediately have a light pink. Oh, I'm so sad because the camera can't catch the color, but it's gorgeous. So I will go on spritzing all the papers, and then I'll be right back. So I spritzed all the papers with the solution, with a spray bottle. And now I have, really wet papers. And this is way darker in the camera than it is in reality. These puddles here look so gorgeous. This is a light pink. And here on the book pages, it is really, it is in reality also darker as here on the white paper. This is how it looks like in the camera. But unfortunately, you can't see the real pink. And I hope that this will be better when the papers are dry. So we will have to wait a little bit until this is nearly completely dry, and then we will add another layer. So in the meantime, while the papers are drying on the floor, I want to do a second variation. I saw Nicole from Nature Spirit Journals in one of her videos using baking soda in her avocado dye solution, and I want to try this as well because this gives a stunning and surprising result. So I'm pouring a little bit of this baking soda into the solution here. To be honest, I really don't know how much. I can't remember. I saw Nicole's video, I don't know, several months ago, and I really can't remember. So I guess I used approximately 1 spoon of baking soda, and I'm mixing this. Okay, I can't see the baking soda anymore, so this is perfect. And I have all these papers left that didn't fit on my bed sheet on the floor, and I just mixed them. To be honest, I can't tell you why. I think this is the cardstock and the copy paper. Maybe I can figure it out in the end which paper was which. I'm placing one paper here in my, how is this thing called in English? I know that I know this word, but I can't remember it. You can see this is kind of a thing that you put in the oven. And then I'm pouring some of this solution over the paper. I'm placing another sheet of paper on top. And I will repeat this until I don't have any solution anymore. I really love when the sheet is not covered evenly with the dye that you use. I think that this is way more interesting in the end. Well, actually I'm pouring some of this solution in here to get a little bit more, and some baking soda again. And then I let it soak for a while, and you can even let these papers sit here until it is completely dry, what you have in here. I've done this before several times with coffee dyeing and rust dyeing. I just let these papers sit until they are completely dry. We will see if I have the patience. So in the meantime, after approximately 20 minutes, I still have these puddles here. These are going to give great interest on the pages when they are dry, but the rest of the paper is still pretty dry. So I will now go over with a second layer of the solution. Okay, it's approximately another half an hour later since I applied the second layer on top of the paper. You can still see these puddles here. And what I want to try next is, I have here a little bit of salt, and I want to try if I get a similar result as I get when I use the salt on top of coffee dyeing, for example. And I'm applying the salt where I have these puddles and where the paper is still wet. And I hope to get a similar result because I'm expecting the salt to kind of soak in the liquid, and then I hope to get an interesting pattern on the page. And finally, I want to use this bottle with a dropper, and I'm applying some drops on the space where the paper is pretty dry already. I hope to get the look of some, I don't know, stains on the paper. I must admit at this stage, I have the feeling that my broth is not intense enough, but I can already see I have some really pinkish color on all of the papers, and I'm really excited about how the papers will look in the end when everything is dry. So I will go on applying some drops here and there, and maybe also some salt here in the puddles. And then I'll be right back. It's the next day. The papers could dry overnight, and look how beautiful this salt looks like on the paper. This is almost like, I don't know, diamonds. Look at that. Isn't this beautiful? So I will now go on and rub off all the salt here, and then I will show you the results. So these are the results that I got with the avocado dye. And can we please talk about the sounds that the paper makes when it is dyed? Oh, I love this so much. So I think the camera can't exactly show the color. It is a light pink. Well, actually it is also pink in the camera, but it is a little bit more lighter here in reality than it is on camera. But well, obviously I didn't dye the backside. I love the shades here that I got. This was a gray-brown envelope. That's why the color here is more grayish. This is the normal copy paper here. And I totally love the smooth blending that I have here on the paper. I love this. This is the third paper. And this is just amazing. I don't know what happened here. This is the premium copy paper. Can you see this? This is a texture that was the result of the salt that I put on top of the puddles that I got from the dye here. And I can't tell you what happened here, but it is absolutely amazing. I got these crystals here, and I mean, you can see it here. These are all rectangular or square crystals, and they are totally stuck on the paper. I can't rub them off. This is totally, yeah, part of the paper now. And this, I mean, this impression here is totally what you get when salt reacts or when salt dries on a surface. You know, you get this pattern here. But I mean, did you ever get this when you dyed paper and put salt on it? Well, I didn't get this so far. I used salt on coffee dyeing paper and as well as on rust, and I never got these results. So please let me know in the comments if you know how this happens. This is amazing. And this is, of course, a totally rough texture here. This is almost like sandpaper here. Here I didn't put any salt on top. I also got this result on the cardstock, of course. I almost forgot. So I got this result here as well. I mean, this looks way different. This is much darker here, but the principle is the same. And these splatters I got only on the cardstock and not on the normal copy paper here. Here it is kind of washed out. And here I got these, yeah, splatters from the dropper that I used. And I totally love this. This is so crisp here. Oh, and here is another light effect from the salt. Here as well. And then we have the matte photo paper. And obviously the matte photo paper has some kind of a coat on the surface of the paper. And obviously this reacted with some pigments in the avocado dye. And I have this effect here only on this matte photo paper. And I actually love this so much. This is also the matte photo paper. And at last, these were the book pages, and in the camera you can already see that I didn't get the pink color here as I got on the copy paper and on the cardstock and the matte photo paper. This is totally brownish, and to be honest, I don't like it. Then I would prefer the coffee dye. I mean, this really looks like dirt here on the paper. I don't love this very much. And I went over here with the dye several times. I guess I spritzed 3 times over the paper and you can nearly see nothing. And these are the papers that I dyed with the dye solution in which I added some baking soda. And to be honest, I totally mixed something up. I saw, as I've already told you, Nicole at Nature Spirit Journals dyeing her papers, and in one of her last videos she added baking soda in one of her dye solutions that she made, and I thought it was the avocado dye solution, but it was not. It was in one of her last videos where she dyed with dried petals from a certain flower, I guess, and she got a totally different color. It turned green in the end, and this was so amazing. I will link this video down for you in the description box, of course. But I thought my avocado dye would turn great. Would turn green if I added the baking soda here. And obviously I mixed it up. It didn't turn green at all, as you can see here. But I somehow got some other shades of pink and brown here, and I don't know if I like it, to be honest. This was wow. Oh my gosh. I just put these papers in the tub, and I actually let the dye soak in the paper, and then I grabbed this pile and just put it on this paper here and on the cardstock, and I let it dry as it was. And this is the result now. I don't know, I don't like this color. This is really ugly, isn't it? I don't like it in the camera, and I don't like it in reality. This is some kind of, this reminds me of blood or something like this. Ooh, I don't like it at all. But obviously, somehow the baking soda made it this dark. So, yeah. This is, okay, this is better here, but it is very, very light. I mean, in comparison, this is the dye on the matte photo paper. And this is the result with the baking soda. And these turned out similar. It's not a big surprise here. It's pretty the same on all the papers. This is, I think this was the cardstock. It's the same result actually. And here, oh my gosh, this is the last paper. I mean, the pattern is some kind of interesting, but I don't like the color at all. This pattern was actually from the top. I don't like it. Well, and these papers, they are interesting, aren't they? Ooh. Ooh, I like this. This is gorgeous. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun experimenting with avocado dyeing, and this is, I mean, this is the most beautiful result of this experiment here. I love this. So please let me know when you try it as well. Thank you so much for watching again. Thank you so much for watching the first time if you're new on my channel. And I would be really happy if I would see you soon in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye.